What does the face tell us?
The face is remarkable. When you look at this is truly remarkable. So let me back up for a minute. In 1898, the first photograph is taken of the shroud. Okay, remember, photography has only been invented in the 1840s. And so in 1898, when the shroud has been on display, the shroud has only been on public display a few times in its entire history. And right now, you have to see it through a private viewing. Very few people. This is the closest. This is what's so cool about our broadcast today. I mean, this is the closest the audience will ever get to the Shroud of Turin, what we're bringing today on your network. What's amazing when you look at the face is we see an actual image. In Secondo Pio, when he takes the photograph in 1898 of the shroud, there was no electricity in the church, Tucker, so he had to bring in generators. He had to take flash photography. The exposures took 14 minutes and 20 minutes. When I was in Turin, Italy recently, I saw the actual camera he used. It looks like a dorm refrigerator. He used glass plates to take the picture. And in the darkroom, now Secondo Pio is a lawyer and he's just a hobbyist photographer, because who was a professional photographer at the end of the 19th century? And he's in the darkroom. And I want to show you what he sees using my cell phone. And when I speak on our tour events, I have our entire audiences do this. If you take your phone and if you put it in classic invert and you just bring up the camera, and if you focus in, I want you to do something. I'm going to hand you my phone. I want you to focus in on the image, and you're going to see exactly what Secondo Pio saw this image. And he's a follower of Jesus. And he believes he's looking at the face of Jesus Christ. Keep in mind, he would be the first one to see the face of Jesus since the apostles. And what does he say in the darkroom in 1898, never more appropriately? Oh my God. And so in 1898, he sees this.
Really, it's so much clearer.
Right.
This is photographic negative.
Right. The negative is actually the positive. And so if you trace and go to the back, I want you to look at the back of the image, the head, the blood, the back, all of those hash marks, the abrasions. I estimate there are 700 wounds on the crucified man of the shroud. No one was crucified the way Jesus was crucified in antiquity, the crown of thorns. You ask about the face. Secondo Pio believes that he's looking at the face of God. In that image, of course, he was immediately accused of being a fraudster, a hoaxer, because photography is so new, the darkroom, this can't be an image, right? He had to have faked this.
I don't understand, just as a kind of physics question, like how would a photographic negative be clearer?
Right. Isn't that fascinating? I mean, that's the thing about the shroud. The physics contradict the chemistry contradict the physics. Welcome to Shroud of Turin. You're being red-pilled on the shroud right now.
I'm being baffled right now.
So the image, what's remarkable about this image is that you have to stand at least 8 feet away to see it with the naked eye, as we are right now. The image vanishes if you get closer. It's hard to trace because the image is superficial, Tucker. I mentioned the blood earlier, and there are pints of type AB blood, pre-mortem, post-mortem. Pints of blood all over it. I mean, this was a very, very badly wounded man. So again, indicative of what we know of crucifixion. Pints of blood, type AB blood. And then in addition to that, when you look at the shroud and you see this and you see all of the image itself that's left, the blood absorbs all the way through the linen, but the image is superficial. Now this is where you have to say with me, the image is only 2 microns thick. It does not absorb all the way through. So if this was a hoax, if this was a work of art, if there was pigment, if there was dye, if there was paint, it would absorb fully. But if we took a razor to the actual shroud, we could shave off the image because it's that thin. And this is what the best scientists in the world cannot replicate. That's what's fascinating about the shroud. The image, there's no paint, there's no dye, there's no ink. The image is actually something chemically has happened, and we believe it happened at the moment of resurrection. 34,000 billion watts of energy in 1/40th of a billionth of a second. A physicist, my friend Paulo De Lazo at ANEA Laboratories right outside of Rome, spent 5 years. He's a laser expert. He's a physicist who works with lasers. And they were able to duplicate the chemical change of what happens with the linen fibers. 34,000 billion watts of energy at peak power. But the thing is, it was a cold energy. It happened in 1/40th of a billionth of a second. And that is what changed the chemical structure to leave this image on the shroud. So that answers your question. How is there a photograph? Well, scientists doesn't know the mechanism. We have no way to quantify how this happens. The best scientific laboratories, when you look at it, Sandia Labs, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Los Alamos National Lab, ENEA Laboratories in Rome, the world's best scientists cannot reproduce this image that's in the shroud.
You should be experiencing comfort every single day of the year, and it should not be something that happens every so often when you get home from work. No, all the time, no questions asked. And that's why we recommend Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth makes bamboo sheets. Sound weird enough to try? That's what we thought we did, and we're grateful we did. Bamboo sheets are actually incredibly soft, breathable, natural, and regulate your temperature without artificial means. That means you and the person sleeping next to you sleep much better than you would, even if you prefer different temperatures, which is pretty common. That could save you a lot of arguments and help you to wake up feeling great. Cozy Earth also makes pants, because of course they do. They're perfect for just about anything you're doing: work, travel, chasing your kids around, having dinner with friends. They are clean cut, stretchy, very, very comfortable. Every Cozy Earth customer I've ever talked to, and that's like everyone who works here, said they're never going back. It is easy to get hooked on Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth offers a 100-night sleep trial, a 10-year warranty. Your first purchase comes with no risk. You either love them or you send them back, no questions asked. Go to CozyEarth.com. Use the code Tucker for up to 40% off the softest bedding, bath, and apparel. If you get a post-purchase survey, tell them you heard about Cozy Earth right here on this podcast. Built for real life, made to keep up with your life. Cozy Earth. Does any other of the many burial shrouds from the region and the period, do any of them contain images?
None. We have blood on them. We have Hansen's disease, the tomb of the shroud. We actually had a
leprosy.
Yeah, exactly. That was discovered. The Bible deniers said there was no such thing as leprosy, so Jesus couldn't have healed lepers. Well, we have a shroud that actually has leprosy on it. None of the shrouds that we have this image, which you've just seen, which is, it's mysterious because the shroud is the most lied about artifact in the world, Tucker. And that's why I so appreciate you having me on your program today. It is the most hated artifact in the world. It's the most lied about artifact. It's the most misunderstood artifact in the world. I have an allergic reaction to Catholic relics. There are over 20,000 relics in the Catholic Church. And a relic is interesting because it has this apocryphal history to it, and yet it can't be studied by the physical sciences. The Catholic Church has only two artifacts now that we can call both an artifact and a relic. We have the Shroud of Turin because it can be tested through history, through sciences. We're going to get to the pollen spores. I mean, this is like a CSI experiment. When you look at the shroud, it's amazing. And then we have the Sudarium of Oviedo in Spain, which is the face cloth that John's gospel talks about that covered his face, that was in the corner of the tomb when the disciples came to see that the tomb was empty that first Easter morning in John chapter 20. So, and that cloth also has human blood. Guess what the blood type is? Type AB. You can't make this stuff up. It's mind-boggling.
So that image was not really clear to people until 1898.
1898, the first photograph. And then in 1931, Henri, the first professional photographer, takes these high-resolution images for his day. And that sent shockwaves throughout the scientific community. So much so that you have thinkers like C.S. Lewis. I used to live in Oxford when I did my residency, and I would often go to the kilns to Lewis's home. And you can go in the bedroom of Lewis's home where the man lived, the great thinker of the 20th century who was an atheist, who became a Christian. And I look up, and above the mantle in his bedroom, I can see it right now in my mind's eye. He has Henri's image of the face of the crucified man. Because every morning that C.S. Lewis woke up, he wanted to be reminded our God has a face. Jesus narrates God to us. If you want to know what God's like, look at the face of Jesus. And Lewis needed that reminder. And so if C.S. Lewis takes the Shroud of Turin seriously enough to have a picture of it above his mantle in his bedroom, where the first thing he saw every morning when he put his feet on the ground, I wanted to take it more seriously.
Amazing. And he was, of course, Anglican, and not Catholic. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.